introductory basic, which will be 100. Colleagues, greetings to you. My name is Anton Soborov. I'm glad to see you in the new course. I invite you to take it. This is a course on targeted advertising. It will consist of 3 parts. I invite you to take it. This is a course on targeted advertising. It will consist of 3 parts. This is the first part, introductory basic, which will be 100% useful to you if you want to master advertising management tools such as Facebook targeting, Instagram, and others. Please come to the course. I will be glad to see you there. Let me tell you briefly about myself. In 2006, I managed an agency in the field of marketing. There are thousands of positive feedback on YouTube, Udemy, my Telegram channel, and various other social networks. Therefore, I sincerely hope that I can be trusted and the quality of my content is high enough. I offer all my courses for free without asking for any additional money. But thank you for making donations, supporting my media, my courses, and what I do for you. The details will be provided in the description of this video. The link is accessible and you can proceed to the money transfer tool by using the cover code. We appreciate your advance gratitude and acknowledge that thanks to this, new courses are consistently being released on a frequent basis. So in the first part, colleagues, we will examine what a target is, what targeted advertising is, and examine its examples. We will definitely consider such a specialty as a targetologist. Let's see how much he can earn and whether it is really possible to earn from $1,000 and more. Let's examine the recommendations on how a targetologist should develop, which books to read in order to make progress and move forward. I will create a development plan for you for the next 6 months with the aim of helping you grow into a highly confident and skilled specialist. Let's look at the algorithms of platforms together, how they show us, advertising formats. In general, you can already see that there will be a lot of useful things within this course, within this part. So let's not delay, let's start. Where we see a check mark, sponsored or advertisement, and accordingly we see that the advertisement is being served to us. We always wonder why this happens, why I am shown this or that advertisement. This is a question that algorithms answer, which we will also answer today. In fact, targeted advertising consists of 3 components. We have data that the social network possesses. Most often these are data about us, about our behavior, what we watch, where we go, what we like, what we are interested in. We possess an additional variable of video advertisers who desire to connect with this audience and arrive to compensate for advertising. And in accordance with this, we receive promotional posts, TikToks, and other similar types of content, which is presented to us as the end user in order to cater to our preferences and interests. In actuality, the social network simply sells our data and permits us to showcase some relevant advertisements in order to cater to the needs of the advertiser. Everything is very easy, money solves everything, but smart algorithms of social networks allow you to set up advertising very precisely and interestingly for the target audience. Thus, Target is one of the excellent trendy tools that I highly recommend for you to utilize in your practice. I have a deep love for meta tools. I firmly believe that the most relevant and fascinating ones are those that enable displaying cool and interesting advertising to the target audience. Doing this is not very expensive, so our course will be mainly built around meta tools, Facebook, Instagram, and others. Let's see what Target enables businesses to do. These are some of the crucial things worth observing. First, it is to bring a new audience to your business in the form of subscribers, in the form of customers. Today, there are different strategies. This is what many people want. I want to reach a new audience, expand the top of the marketing funnel, yes, attract more audience. The second thing that logically comes, and most businesses want, is to increase sales. The target doesn't always directly impact this, as it's usually the top of the funnel and only contacts the audience. And then a lot of things depend on your product, on the conversion of sales or your website, if you have such a self-service model. Accordingly, after that, how the implementation of the product, its shipment, and so on are going for you. There are numerous introductions, but in reality, the objective is one of the components that contribute to increasing sales for the business. One of the fascinating aspects is when a business operates for many years. spanning decades, and has a large number of potentially dormant users who once interacted with and used the product. So Target is one of the tools to engage this sleepy audience in contact, involve them in working with your media. Suppose in Instagram there is more interest, the number of likes, comments from this audience. Alternatively, on the other hand, you can remind yourself after a period of time and engage with this audience once more. Yes, let's say, oh guys, we have updated a new catalog, let's go, everything will be fine. Well, here it is. This is also a format that works. Therefore, you see, it's very cool, and it's one of those quite organic ways to interact with the audience, to naturally appear in their popular social networks, which our audience uses. The next point many people are interested in is the number of subscribers in a social network. Whether it's YouTube, Instagram, VK, Telegram, and more, all of them allow you to build an audience using Target, including the subscriber base. This is one of those things that many brands actively utilize, and I highly recommend utilizing it to you because it is one of the tools for expanding the audience. However, once again, you must begin by identifying your objectives in relation to targeted advertising. These slides additionally demonstrate the information you desire: sales, user engagement, total number of subscribers, and reactivations of users for analysis and tracking purposes. Check the hypotheses. When entering new markets, one of the main tasks is to test it, and Target enables you to do it quite rapidly. Proceed to the market, examine the audience, interact with different segments, observe if there is a response, and then make a decision regarding scaling up. Here is a fairly harmonious strategy that allows you to do this. Therefore, be sure to try it. It's a very cool story. Logical story. Yes, it is indeed a new market, as I already mentioned. And finally, initiate lead generation for the specific segment that you are interested in. If you work in B2B, targeted advertising will also suit you. If you work in the B2C segment, when you work with end users, individuals, then the target is, so to speak, a profession doctor. Let's discuss the importance of targeted advertising in the year 2024 and beyond, and its continued relevance. I will briefly mention that the relevance is extremely high. It is true because it is one of the effective tools for attracting an audience, which enables you to enhance sales, boost activity in your media, and attract new subscribers to your platform. Sites strongly depend on the geography where you are going, and I will give recommendations. Suppose if we talk about the Russian-speaking space, it's VKontakte and Odnoklasniki. When considering the global perspective, the meta tools that come to mind are TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, the former Twitter, and various other platforms and services. Hence, we select platforms from the audience, and this is a fundamental aspect. It represents an audit. Ad algorithms evolve as tech develops, AI is connected. We'll discuss in next part. You must stay, watch the continuation of this course for more insights and valuable information. And this is one of the reasons why the tool becomes more effective. It's very cool, it pleases me as a marketer, and I actively follow and test it too. Fifth point, the number of users in social networks is growing. They are switching from one to another. But overall, as the internet develops and expands, so do the opportunities for targeted advertising in terms of reach and engagement with specific audiences. Artificial intelligence. This is the thing that evolves along with all technologies because it is technology, and it is also actively going in the target when the tools themselves allow you to generate creatives, either texts or independently configure advertising for you. This is the real one that already exists and will be further developed. We are closely monitoring it. The course also informs about how to be a targetologist. Let's redirect our focus to our preferred artificial intelligence assistant in the GPT chat in order for us to see the recommendations, and I, as an expert with a 16-year experience, I will provide a comment. Let's commence our discussion with literature for a targetologist. When addressing GPT, I asked to select literature here that will help in the development of this direction. You have a total of 9 tools in front of you, and all of them are quite serious. Books on work available in hardcover. Perry Marshall, Brian Carter, Tim Nash, and Brad Geddes are the experts in their respective fields. I highly recommend taking them on a pencil and watching to make your work easier
আপনি কি একটি স্বনামধন্য বাইং হাউস বা গার্মেন্টস এর মালিক বা মার্চেন্ট হেড বা ফেব্রিক হেড? আপনার তৈরি পোশাকের জন্য ফেব্রিক নিয়ে আপনি কি দুশ্চিন্তায় আছেন?
গার্মেন্টস এর 70 থেকে 80% কনসাম্পশনই ফেব্রিক্স। আপনি যদি গার্মেন্টস শিল্পে লাভবান এবং অধিক অর্ডার পেতে চান, তাহলে আপনাকে দুটি বিষয়কে গুরুত্ব সহকারে বিবেচনা করতে হবে। 1. ফেব্রিক কোয়ালিটি। 2. সময়মতো ফেব্রিক ডেলিভারি। আপনি কি সাপ্লাইকৃত ফেব্রিকের কোয়ালিটি নিয়ে চিন্তিত? গার্মেন্টসের কোয়ালিটি ফেব্রিকের কয়েকটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কোয়ালিটির উপর নির্ভর করে, যেমন ডাইমেনশনাল স্টেবিলিটি, ফেব্রিক টুইস্টিং, সারফেস কোয়ালিটি, color fastness, hand feel, fabric shade, fabric diameter, fabric grams, fabric hole.
ঠিক সময়ে ফেব্রিক ডেলিভারি পাচ্ছেন না। সঠিক সময়ে ও মানসম্পন্ন ফেব্রিক না পাওয়ায় আপনার কাঙ্ক্ষিত গার্মেন্টস শিপমেন্ট ব্যাহত হচ্ছে এবং আপনি অনেক লোকসানের সম্মুখীন হচ্ছেন। আপনার গার্মেন্টসের কোয়ালিটি সম্পন্ন ফেব্রিকের জন্য বিশ্বস্ত কাউকে খুঁজছেন। আমরা খোঁজি নেটস কি টিম আছি কোয়ালিটি সম্পন্ন ফেব্রিক প্রস্তুত করে সময়মতো কাস্টমারের কাছে সরবরাহ করি। আমাদের আছে একটি দক্ষ টিম যাহারা নিজ নিজ ক্ষেত্রে অনেক অভিজ্ঞ এবং পারদর্শী।
আপনার কাঙ্ক্ষিত ফেব্রিকের জন্য অনুগ্রহ করে আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করুন। আমাদের ফেসবুক ও ইউটিউব পেজে চোখ রাখুন।
For you are not native, the same ChatGPT helps us get all the water. Assuming we can make a quick squeeze of the theses from the book Perry Marshall's Ultimate Guide to Facebook Advertising. And these are 10 points that allow you to understand what to pay attention to and develop, continuing to work further within them for progress. Prompt and immersing yourself already inside this topic, you can, roughly speaking, fully study the book with all its features and understand how to use the Perry Marshall experience, which he describes in his book, in order to develop. This will not replace, of course, reading a book, because if you recall, many of you likely read books in abbreviated form. The social media platform Facebook, where we encounter advertisements that are displayed in the center of the screen, is financially supported, genetic passport, everything is fairly straightforward. The VKontakte social network, Russian speaking, where we also see advertising in the left block and in the middle, which is shown to us accordingly. We have the ability to interact with her on a regular basis. The social network LinkedIn, where sponsored content is also seen, is displayed in the middle and right blocks, and it also interacts with us as a potential audience on the platform. On Instagram, we observe advertising in Valentina's stories, and she is also attempting to encourage us to participate in some activities. And TikTok is a paid, patched video that we are shipped, which we can go on the site, order something, and so on. Overall, advertising is similar, visual, and charming. Therefore, in addition to setting up the technical audience, we need to configure the creative, so this is also important to use in order to maximize its charm. Now let's discuss algorithms. Platforms, what the entire technical component depends on, how we configure it. I will provide you with several options. The initial option is a substantial collection of behavior where we can utilize this data as a starting point. Visiting websites, subscribing to content, and so on. We pass all this information to the advertising account. And accordingly, based on this info, we make adjustments to our targeted advertising. Assuming we have knowledge that an individual was interested in or purchased costly yachts, we can focus on that information. We know that a person is sitting on an iPhone 15 Pro, we can tune into that. We can subscribe to content. Let's say we want to show ads to our subscribers on Instagram. Accordingly, the entire story is in the behavior section. Social demographic data presented here include fundamental information about age and the presence of children. Filters naturally vary from platform to platform, but in general, the mechanics are similar. There are a considerable number of data sources here. Your client's contacts. Knowing the phone number and email, you can set up advertising targeting for this audience. Actions in app. For frequent users or those who want to re-engage inactive ones, this is also crucial and important. Actions in your catalog. People would go, for example, to Facebook catalogs and look at some activities. Activity. What individuals visited your store and you relayed this information. Video of data loading inside the platform's interface. Actions performed on the site. Individuals visited specific pages, explored sections of your website, or maybe completed transactions. Actions with video. People watched the video up to 25%, half more, halves, and so on. We can also configure all of these and display advertisements to this specific audience. Profile tasks. Visitors to your Instagram. Here is a good target on which you can advertise and set up. Filling out lead form when applications submitted. Accordingly, we want to attract more activity with them. For instance, execute 2-stage or 3-stage completions. Initially, activate the lead form, then proceed to warm up. Or do it a little bit the other way around. Advertising formats. I will show several basic formats that are used on almost all platforms. The first is an ad in the feed. For instance, advertising Meta on Facebook. Meta advertises within its own platform. Yes, that's what advertising looks like. We have a header, you can go to the profile, we see a description, we see creative, we see social tags at the bottom. More than 500 people like this post. There are still comments. By the way, don't forget to respond to comments under advertising posts. Your real customers may often be hiding there. Advertising in stories. Stories are utilized on all platforms. These are illustrations from Instagram, where we have the option to go to Shop Now or Learn More. Proceed to the platform, study, apply, and more. Lead forms when you complete the questionnaire contained within. Social networks without going. The website and other media allow it to. It is good to attract an audience at early stages using only the platform itself and not relying on the conversion of your website. Good tool, I recommend it, it works well, but as I have already mentioned before, there are scams, fakes, so unfortunately it depends on the geography where you launch it. Advertising video is a well-liked narrative, let's say, to exhibit a video on TikTok or Facebook with the aim of reaching a wide-ranging audience. Capture and captivate attention to your brand. Utilize carousel feature. Within the carousel you can show a lot. Cards. And with each individual card there is an opportunity. Set a target action for a specific activity. Let's say we translate here on the website. Here we display shoes. Here we display a dress, thus to engage the audience. Canvas or Holst is one of the methods to exhibit visually stunning objects within, let's say, Facebook, and in doing so effectively connect with the audience and expand the reach of the content. In general, many platforms strive not to overlook creativity, and this is also crucial. Employ these unconventional tools instead of standard ones for the best results. The main issue is if a targetologist can make money, $1,000 and more. Let's provide a response. We will ensure it is in the appropriate format as required. What skills? What introduction? So a payment of $1,000 is required. First, it's expertise in the niche. If you specialize, for instance, in the e-commerce market or in the business-to-business market, or for instance in the beauty industry, then the opportunity to earn substantial amounts in targeted advertising increases because you specialize in a specific niche. Plus and minus. Downside funnel exists. It narrows a bit as someone, let's say from education, which you're in, comes to you. Merely a distinct direction, and you ought to refuse him completely. Secondly, do you possess any cases within this industry or within this sector of the economy that you can share with us? Accordingly, if you have a lot of cool target cases, it will be an undeniable advantage and it will help you earn more. If you guarantee the result, options. There is also, for instance, based on traffic volume or based on cost, that is based on some such goals, that is an opportunity to earn a significant amount. More because client is interested. He sees it as a result. If you have an upgraded old-fashioned radio and the client passes you hand in hand, yes, accordingly recommends you to his colleagues as well, without hesitation. An incredible narrative that is highly effective, allowing you to enhance your value as a specialist. You have a personal brand, pumped up, you have Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, something else, and thanks to this, you again. You can increase your value as a specialist employee. And finally, do you possess a stable lead gen that enables you to have a broad portion of the Foronka from above and accordingly extract from it that which you are interested in? And 4, ensure the bill remains at a high level. There are 6 points here that allow you to sell yourself at a high price. There are chances for this, they exist practically in all locations, so there is no need to stop. So just download, develop. Colleagues, we are concluding the initial section. If she was beneficial to you, you acquired new knowledge, I will be pleased to receive your support via donation. In the next part, we'll discuss strategy, how AI helps in targeting with artificial intelligence. We will create advertising materials using artificial.
Instagram. Nice to see you. Sincerely hope you watched the first part. She is in the description, and we will continue. In the second part, we will talk about how artificial intelligence helps us in targeted advertising, launching advertising on Facebook and Instagram. We will collaborate with you to develop an advertising launch strategy on FB and IG using artificial. I'll show you the prompts and requests of the GPT chat intellect. That'll help you with this. I'll show you all the technical components. There'll be lots of cool tools like EDS library. We'll be able to see how advertising works for competitors. We'll create the strategy with you. Let's check it out. The financial aspect, how to spend it correctly on one or another ad, and how to calculate it in general, and how AI helps us with this. Very cool. Additionally, we will collaborate with you on the mechanics of creating content, including both textual and visual elements. I will demonstrate the tools I use, show all the technical components inside, so it'll be very cool and impressive. The second part is about strategy, about how artificial intelligence helps us in launching advertising. Let's begin. Thank you in advance for supporting all of my courses. Thanks to your donations, they are being released. Therefore, once more, QR code. I would be grateful for a concise translation within the scope of my media. Thank you in advance. And thank you very much. So, look, this is what traditional advertising appears like on Facebook. We observe her and let us break her down into a few components. They are comprised of three things. I likely don't consider the profile here. We'll discuss him separately within the context of our current part later. But in fact, these are three components. The first component is the textual description of our advertisement. The second one is our visual representation. It is our individual offer with which we work closely with a person. It can be a photo, some picture, a static image, or it can be a video clip. And third at the bottom, a small area. This is a call to action. We will also be working on it with you today because although it is not noticeable, it plays a certain role in terms of promotion. Great. We begin by developing a strategy for targeted advertising on Facebook and Instagram. This is a very important blog, and here I will be using my assistant ChatGPT version 4 today, which helps perfectly copes with this task. And this is where such a simple and lightweight prompt assists me. If you've watched my previous courses about ChatGPT, then you know the mechanics of building industrial queries. First, we give a certain role in which we communicate with artificial intelligence. Next, we give some introduction about what we want to do, and at the end we set the task that we need to do. Here we discuss having a beauty salon, our audience, and the objective of developing an ad strategy on Facebook and Instagram for our specific target audience. Accordingly, the plan appears as follows. Stepwise checklist of tasks, and we'll go through all the steps with you today. Analyze from my 16 years of expertise in marketing, show and tell how to do it correctly in simple, understandable language. First is analysis preparation. Very important thing we do at the beginning before launching advertising. We prepare creatives, look at audience, peek at competitors. The second is strategy development. Here are all the technical tools, where to go, what to do, what offers, etc. Tactics have already started inside. The third story is launch and optimization. This is where the technical component is hidden, how we'll launch advertising and promote it. The fourth point is integrating with other channels. It's important because sometimes one advertisement is not enough. Even if we launch the identical lead forms on Facebook, we still require to integrate them with tools for content delivery, specifically with tools for email marketing, marketing through Messenger, and other similar tools. We will discuss this in our upcoming lesson, which will be the third and final one. Awesome, let's proceed. Start with preparation. This is crucial. Analysis and preparation are key. We have multiple tasks in it with you. The initial one is audience research. Here we can examine social media, them, on interests, preferences, and behavior. The second point.
আপনি কি আরামদায়ক ও টেকসই কাপড়ের পোলো শার্ট খুঁজছেন? স্টাইল এবং আরামের এক নতুন জগতে আপনাকে স্বাগতম। কোজি তৈরি করছে আপনার প্রিয় পোলো শার্ট। উন্নতমানের কাপড় এবং নিখুঁত সেলাইয়ের মাধ্যমে দক্ষ কারিগরদের দ্বারা যত্ন সহকারে তৈরি করা হচ্ছে। আমাদের টিম আপনার জন্য আরামদায়ক এবং টেকসই পোশাক নিয়ে আসছে। অফিস হোক বা ক্যাজুয়াল, কোজি দিচ্ছে আপনার পোশাকে আধুনিক স্টাইলের ছোঁয়া। প্রস্তুত হন, খুব শীঘ্রই আসছে চমৎকার কিছু।
We have is competitor audit, also a crucial task, to observe how current competitors utilize the advertising opportunities of platforms, to look at their ads, to see where they lead to which website, to study all this history. This is crucial and helpful, providing valuable insights for internal work. Additionally, it involves preparing the profile to attract the audience. Yes, it's either IG, FB, or other platforms. Accordingly, this is a very important thing. About everything today, we will talk with you right now. Let's start with audience research. Here is the basic industrial query that helps us with this. This is talking to me as an experienced analyst. My product is barbershop, so you call there what you do. We introduce our plan to advertise on Instagram and Facebook and describe our target audience considering the advertising platform. With this very simple, understandable request, we ask the neural network to provide us with a description of what we will use together with you when setting up advertising. This is the basic story. We start from it, and in the future, when we practice, we'll make corrections based on experience. The second thing that logically follows from here is that we need to spy on competitors' advertising. A small remark from a colleague: we launched the previous item together, we are practicing together, so we don't just watch my course, but also practice right away. So we switch to the ChatGPT interface, enter our request for your business, and accordingly get the output based on what you have about the audience, settings, interests, and accordingly feed it. This will be useful for us on the third lesson. We'll start advertising with these updates. So, colleagues, just don't look. Practice and practice only. Therefore, the second tool, we maintain a vigilant watch on competitors. One of the important ones is the ADS library, where we will specifically look at competitors' advertising. Accordingly, there is a geo here. We choose which one we are interested in, where we will run. Accordingly, we select the types of advertising there, and then we can collect by keywords or collect by specific advertisers. She appears like this. You notice crucial details here. Now we'll just walk past them without further investigation. There are also 3 large blocks here. Block number 1, this is on which platforms it is launched and when, is it relevant or not. The second block is a description of text. We have an advertising partnership with you. Thank you for your support. The third block is our creative, static or dynamic. And the last block at the bottom is where the advertisement is displayed. She outputs to Messenger, website, lead forum, and more. You can see all of this inside. Check it out now. This is highly beneficial because you have a precise understanding of which bundles are effective. Bundle of advertising, platform, and additional advertising, offer, and consequently target action. Great! A really useful resource. I highly recommend utilizing it for your work. The upcoming narrative we will be focusing on is the profile, specifically the profile settings. Running ads on a blank profile is not a very good task because our conversion rate may decrease slightly due to this. Therefore, let's do 3 simple tasks. The first thing is to insert an avatar, a profile picture, fill in the bio information so that people know what we do and how to contact us. We upload content, 5 to 8 posts in feed. People can read, watch what we do, what kind of company we have, etc. When entering our community, we do initial content upload. If you actively manage your social networks, it is clear that you do not have these points. But if you are just starting out or running from a separate profile for advertising, then doing these basic things will greatly help you. Now we move on to the next stage, which is strategy development. Here we need to perform the following tasks. These are the goals of the advertising campaign. Why all this is required. Let's revisit this point using AI. Budget and ad schedule, a crucial aspect, to understand if we have enough budget actions and if we need to adjust numbers for the cost of target action, click, impression, etc. for effective execution of our marketing strategy. And accordingly, content creation. These are the basic things that we are working on here with you. Let's proceed. The primary request is to formulate and develop the goals of the advertising campaign through careful planning and execution. Here you don't necessarily have to delve into your topic, because in fact ChargerPay provides information effectively and it appears in this manner. I've already assigned it to you. There are numerous items here. This is both the recognizability of ads and the coverage to reach the widest audience. And this is website traffic in order to bring more people to see what you have to offer and already interact with you through the website itself. This is lead generation. This is launching a campaign to get leads and targeted applications. By setting up conversions on our website and already tracking them, we are able to increase sales overall. Loyalty and engagement are also what will aid us in attracting fresh customers through the strategy of content marketing. There are additional studies of the audience, testing our offers and accordingly building the customer's path, how the audience can reach our purchase. But these are extra objectives that I suggest addressing at a later time. And above all, they are prioritized, so the mechanics are roughly as follows. I trust it is comprehensible to you. You can clarify info more accurately with AI, but at the top level it looks like this, and here we should already understand what interests us. If coverage, then accordingly we will go more into some media tools. This is only video. If interested in lead generation, we'll go to lead forms and launch them. If interested in increasing sales, we'll install a pixel on the site and create an audience, e.g. for our catalog. Yes, these are important things that are further developed in our strategy. Awesome. Moving forward, and now we will digitize with you the metrics that are used when launching an advertising campaign. Accordingly, we request to communicate as an advertising analyst and describe the metrics. The most crucial clarification in this context is to output the information in a table format, which we can then give to our marketers for recording it on a week-by-week basis. And the result in front of you, accordingly, almost everything is described here. There is even a separate field, so we copy this information to Excel and accordingly fill it week by week. Further, we understand already we go up, we go down, we follow the strategy or not. And in fact, at this stage, part of the analytics work will already be reduced for us. But we gentlemen always strive to delve into the numbers, so the subsequent objective is to delve into the construction of the advertising budget and gain an overall understanding of what the budget forecast will be and whether we can obtain any insights from this advertising. This is a very important block when it comes to GPT chat. Artificial intelligence gives us some financial justification before our launch. At this stage, we can draw conclusions. One conclusion may be to avoid running advertising altogether.
Awesome.
As a marketer and analyst, describe your product in more detail. Also, provide more numerical info for a comprehensive understanding. The cost is $10, the margin is 15%, so we have $1.50 left from our lunch expenditure. We need to be mindful of our remaining budget. We can deliver 100 lunches daily, our maximum. Therefore, please make a budget calculation and business indicators accordingly. Further on your screen, we see the forecast here completely, and if you stop now and take a little closer look, you will see that our forecast did not work. We allocated 50% of our budget from our income, which is 2,000 cents or $20, and Facebook calculated for us that this budget will not be sufficient for us for a month, and we will only have an average of 3 sales per day. Simultaneously, we need 100 daily sales to meet our production demands, requiring optimization efforts. Accordingly, here are the initial figures we have on conversion, cost per conversion, and we need to work on them. And in order for us to succeed, we need to accordingly fill out this table and monitor it, work with hypotheses, work with creativity with our offer. This is the most crucial task when working with targeted advertising. Indeed, it is all about speed, the rapidity of testing offers and creatives. Here.
আপনি কি আরামদায়ক ও টেকসই কাপড়ের পোলো শার্ট খুঁজছেন? স্টাইল এবং আরামের এক নতুন জগতে আপনাকে স্বাগতম। কোজি তৈরি করছে আপনার প্রিয় পোলো শার্ট। উন্নতমানের কাপড় এবং নিখুঁত সেলাইয়ের মাধ্যমে দক্ষ কারিগরদের দ্বারা যত্ন সহকারে তৈরি করা হচ্ছে। আমাদের টিম আপনার জন্য আরামদায়ক এবং টেকসই পোশাক নিয়ে আসছে। অফিস হোক বা ক্যাজুয়াল, কোজি দিচ্ছে আপনার পোশাকে আধুনিক স্টাইলের ছোঁয়া। প্রস্তুত হন, খুব শীঘ্রই আসছে চমৎকার কিছু।
And at this moment, we are approaching the process of creating creatives, the process of creating what we will do in the future. Very important point. And here there are two approaches. Approach number one is to adapt the best practices available on the market. Accordingly, we dive back into the ADS library and extract a lot of information from it. As an illustration, we collaborate with a real estate agency that specializes in the sale of properties on the market for our work. Accordingly, we go in and look at such objects in the United States of America. We see them, we have creatives, we have a text description. Accordingly, we'll have a basic prompt here, communicate with me as an experienced copywriter. Below are examples of ad text pasted into the NIC. Compose ad options for a real estate agency, provide multiple advertising choices. Accordingly, we get a sample for this, which we can already work with. Accordingly, you see there are 5 options. They are beautiful with emojis, attract attention, and in fact, you can already take and use. The only thing, as you can see, they have slightly different target actions. Yes, there's learn more somewhere. There may be a story with traffic. And this also goes to clarify the prompt request in order to make it more competent. Yes, that is to test different hypotheses. Somewhere we switch to a personal message. Somewhere we translate to the website. Somewhere we translate to lead magnet. Super. Let's proceed further. Within the ADS library, we have an image. And here is an example of an image showcasing how realtors promote themselves in the real estate industry. And we utilize prompt in daily. It is a neural network that is presently connected to ChatGPT, which is located in the 4th position, connected to the 4th iteration to the paid subscription service. And where can we utilize the subsequent request? Capture an image of a previous apartment and add a caption to it. Accordingly, we obtain such a reasonable outcome, which is already capable of being acquired and adjusted to meet our needs. On the left here, we see the industrial query that the neural network recommends. So you can go even easier for a smoother experience. The neural network taught us to write a commercial request. We received a more competent commercial request for our request. Apologies for the tautology. I have a result that can be used to refine it or make improvements based on it in some way. Suppose not an old building, but the view from the interior and other related aspects and so forth. Super. In fact, we have a textual description, we have a graphical description, and we can already try to test it. The subsequent course of action is when we employ ChatGPT to generate creativity from scratch, starting from a blank canvas. Accordingly, there are 2 basic things we need to do here. First, we need to provide introductory information about our product, give a little more insight into what we do in our audience, and so on. And accordingly, after that, we set a prompt for writing an ad. Communicate with me as an experienced copywriter marketer. Based on the info received, create a description for FB and IG ads. Additionally, provide several options for a short call to action. A short call to action is what will be located below your ads. This is a separate placement on Facebook. I always suggest including it in the prescription. Accordingly, we obtain here a creative that is the textual description of our advertisement, which we can utilize. From a visual point of view, here is already a slightly different story, a different approach. When we use it with you, again, not in a neural network, but for creating creatives. Here are 2 examples for you. This artificial intelligence creates such live avatars, can directly on you, and I want to share with you here a selection of some tools that can greatly help you in this. The initial one is Hagen. I utilize this service for myself in order to adjust my content for various platforms for different geographical locations. Great thing. Highly recommend giving it a try. There are free tariffs available for trying and creating such a creative for stories, for advertising in the feed, and so on. The second one is Synthesia, a fairly old tool that also allows you to create AI avatars and accordingly launch them in advertising. Type is also one of the new solutions. It also allows you to create, voice, and launch advertising in video, in social media, and in Target, among other things. And Colossians is also a platform for work, including with training, but advertising will also assist us in achieving our goals. And in the end, this is DID, a tool designed for creating innovative tools, specifically for enhancing productivity and efficiency in the workplace. He primarily works from text to video, so these things will greatly assist you in terms of creating your creatives for social networks, for targeting, Colleagues, we're concluding the second part. We've covered it briefly and swiftly with you. Very important big block here is practice. Therefore, colleagues, once again, let's stop, review the moments, gather prompts. They will come in handy for you in the third part of our course in order to start running specific advertising. If it was helpful, I'd appreciate a donation. In the next part, we'll be launching advertising with you, understanding the technical features of advertising accounts. Yes, they exist, and talking to you about integration with other channels. Therefore, colleagues, I won't say goodbye for long. See you in the next part. My name is Anton Savarov. In my Telegram channel, there's a little more content from all my media, so come over, be sure to subscribe, and see you in the new part. I'm not saying goodbye for long.
Colleagues, greetings. My name is Anton Soborov. I'm glad to see you in the third part of the course on targeted advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Today there will be a big interesting part. It will be completely technical. We will talk about two very important points. Firstly, I will tell you how to launch ads for non-technical specialists. Let's say you are a business owner and you want to get customers. In today's video, I will show you how to do it in 5 simple steps. At the level of questionnaires, visas that you fill out and get real customers for yourself in just 15-20 minutes. In this practical portion of our course, you will have the opportunity to launch this advertisement. If you are an expert, a marketer, then I will show you the possibilities for more flexible configuration, tell you all the features that I know, and this will literally be in the near future within the framework of this course. We will look at your advertising campaign goals, look at their features, look at the interface of the meta advertising account. These are Facebook, Instagram, audience network placements, Facebook partner network. I will give my recommendations on launching advertising, so stay tuned. Today will be really cool. A bit more technical information than in previous sections. Let's begin. First, I would like to express my gratitude to all those who support my courses and my products. Thank you very much. You can donate to support my media using a QR code, and there will also be a link to payment, transfer, and support for my media in the description. Thanks a lot, colleagues. Thanks. Promote on Facebook, generate comments, and so on. There are many intriguing things, but I want to talk to you about launching an automated advertising campaign in the Meta tools, specifically in Facebook and Instagram. This campaign will be created for us by artificial intelligence. I have been following this thing for probably the past 10 years, and now we are really on the verge of it working. And when it allows you to bring in new clients literally with a snap of your fingers, it is truly very cool, and we will continue gradually with you on the process of how to do it. This is a unique thing that definitely changes the entire advertising market, and I believe in a bright future when it will be much more effective, although right now it is already very interesting. Well, let's not talk too much. Let's get started. Here is an example of such an advertisement. It is quite simple, easy, and I will show you how to make it, how to launch it literally in 5 to 7 minutes, quite quickly. So, ahead of us is a simple quiz. A questionnaire that you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, must fill out in order not to scatter the meta, and for Facebook and Instagram to understand who you are and what audience you need to attract. Accordingly, the initial inquiry they make is whether you possess an offline store and if you desire to attract the audience to your store and location. I do not have this one, so I say no here. If yes, then you must fill in the context of your stores. Subsequently, there were technical inquiries. Do you have a website? Yes, I confirm that I do. Do you sell products on your website? I state no, I do not have such an opportunity. If you, for instance, possess a catalog e-com, an online store, then you really should fill in the yes button. Is it possible to book meetings directly on your website, or do I need to contact you separately? Actually, you can choose the option whether it exists or not for users. I say yes, opportunity available on my site. Can you receive contacts of potential audience on your website? So are there any forms where people can leave an application? I affirm they have the ability. Is it possible for individuals to contact you for more information? I affirm yes, such an opportunity also exists. and correspondingly, there are additional inquiries regarding how individuals can get in touch with you, initiate a phone call, send a message to you on WhatsApp, send a message to you on Facebook, and leave your contact information on your website. Accordingly, choose the items that are available, and further, the advertisement will be automatically configured for the tool there. Great. Next, we have a variety of locations where you want to draw the audience's attention. Accordingly, I am in Georgia. I choose Tbilisi. Yes, this is one of the options that is available. Therefore, my ad will be exhibited in this specific location as per the agreed upon arrangement made between us. Here, this is a vital point. We must carefully choose the interests of our audience based on it. I always recommend, when utilizing products, to opt for broader interests on my behalf in order to avoid compromising the main platform. Algorithms were able to select an audience specifically for you. However, in order to achieve this, we need to provide the platform with a few additional options. If you reduce the audience size significantly, it will no longer have the capability to effectively test its hypotheses. Therefore, I recommend taking a wider one here. Suppose if you are engaged in your car business, accordingly, we take the widest interest of the audience in the car. If your business is marketing, accordingly, we take a broad approach to marketing. Those that you potentially deal with, yes, in particular mine, it is generally marketing, it is social media marketing, content marketing, yes, there is lead generation. Accordingly, we can expand them. There is also an extra benefit of 10 there, points that can be employed here. Great, now we load creatives for our advertising. I always suggest utilizing certain individuals, specific people for better results. This always attracts attention. Very cool if it's a contrasting photo. We have a foreground and a background. They are separated from each other. Thus, we enhance the conversion rate in this case because of the story. Therefore, utilize a tool such as Canvas Photoshop to effectively prepare the image for your advertising. As a result, load it within this platform, and we have now arrived at the ultimate screen together, which is where the configuration of all other elements takes place, and thus we collaborate on defining objectives. Yes, we can identify 3 crucial points that we can achieve in partnership with you. Yes, you can generally get more leads. And the meta recommends this thing. Yes, that is, we see a certain star about the fact that we will use all the possibilities that are on our platform. You will get more people. From the interesting, on the right side, we observe the approximate number of contacts that will interact with us. Yes, that is, we see there a range from 700 to 2000. And the volume of rows, the forecast that you will be able to obtain within this budget within a day's time. From 2 to 11 years old within the day. These are highly favorable numbers. When budgeting, we look down $5 per day. And you have the capability to manually adjust it and, as a consequence, observe how the numbers will change. In addition, we can change the strategy to another one. For example, to get a bigger meeting. Obtain additional traffic to our website. In this particular situation, you will be requested to provide a link to your website, which you will be required to create appropriately. I require leads. Thus, I opt for this format, and in the future, we will utilize a contact form, which will be present on our platform, where I will need to obtain the individual's complete name and email address. This will be enough for me to continue interacting with this audience, so I am providing this information below. It has the option for customization, but I usually prefer to keep it in its default state. Great. Moving forward, let's now focus on some minor technical settings. These settings encompass the duration of the campaign, any special categories if they are required, audience targeting, and placements for the campaign. I recommend, if you are just starting, if you are not a professional, set everything to default. So it will be more interesting from the point of view of advertising waste. If you are a specialist, in just a couple of minutes, I will give you special recommendations for you. Here, in fact, we established a budget, uploaded creative materials, selected the necessary items based on the quiz, and that is the extent of our actions in this regard. Following that is the button to place an advertisement, which undergoes moderation, takes some time during that process, and then your advertising campaign begins to run. I agree, it is incredibly cool, fast, and easy.
Moreover, every person has the opportunity to access the vast audience of Meta products, including Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and start running their own advertisements right here on this platform. In my opinion, it is very good, and I would be happy if you enjoy this video. Great. Now let's discuss the technical features that currently exist, and I will share the valuable experience that I have gained over the course of the past 16 years. So I suggest opting for a pay-per-click advertising campaign when you have a high-quality website and you experience good conversion rates on it. And this way, you can accurately predict that on average, you will achieve a conversion rate of 5 to 7% from a click to the desired action. If you have a complex product that needs to be explained, that needs to engage the audience, for instance, showing them article content, telling them on our website, then clicks will definitely be useful in that situation. And if you have a marketing funnel organized through your website where interaction takes place at certain stages, accordingly you use several touch points, then transitions to your website will definitely be useful. If you possess a basic product, if you possess an ineffective website and low conversion, or if you do not possess a website at all, but you possess a sales department that is prepared to handle requests, then a lead generation campaign, a lead company, is appropriate for you. This is the time when you receive emails, phone numbers of your target audience who are interested in your product, and after that you call them, write to them through messengers, and thus interact with them. This is significantly quicker, the setup process is considerably simpler, and the cost per action has the potential to be low. If we require recognition and desire to interact with as broad an audience as possible, then media tools and methods will be applicable and beneficial for us. I recommend running ads for impressions. In this case, you can work with video content, show it to the widest audience possible, and output it to the next stage, to the stage of recognition of your product, to search engines, and accordingly interact on other tools, advertising tools that exist. Great. The final point I want to emphasize is the separate work with the catalog. If you have an e-commerce or online store and you have a feed that can be provided to the system, along with offline and online purchases, then working with the catalog will be extremely beneficial. It allows you to accurately display specific items that are available in your store and that a person may have already seen, and thus squeeze him to make a purchase. That's why we choose to work with the catalog here, and for you there will be much more targeted information accordingly. Colleagues, here are my recommendations for you from the point of view of launching advertising. I recommend you to take small steps. Accordingly, try to launch advertising, connect a card, launch creatives, see how the audience behaves on the site. And accordingly, after that, already come to some pro version in terms of working with analytics, with complex mechanics, already work with more complex creativity, multi-step sales, and so on. This basic information will be enough for you to start launching, start getting leads, start getting the first clients from targeted advertising on Facebook, on Instagram. I believe that this knowledge indeed will be enough for almost everyone without technical skills, but after watching this course, it will be enough. Once again, I want to thank you for supporting my media and products. I sincerely hope this product and course were sufficient for you to start advertising. Your support means a lot to me. Make sure to write your feedback in the comments section. I read and watch every single one. If you are enrolled in my courses on Udemy, kindly leave feedback after finishing this course. See you in new courses released in my media, so I recommend subscribing to